Students have been relocated out of a Mississippi State dorm after a fire on Sunday evening. The university says just before 10 Sunday evening, a fire was reported on the third floor of the A wing of Oak Hall on the south side of campus. There were no injuries reported, but there was fire damage in the room where the fire started. 30 other rooms had water damage from the sprinkler system triggered during the fire. The fire is believed to have started when an electrical outlet sparked and caught bed linens on fire, but an official cause from the fire marshal has not been given. The university says 60 students were impacted by the fire. Anna Claire Holloway is a resident in Oak Hall and had to move out of her room and into a hotel.
Everybody was like, it's somebody burned some popcorn or something. It happens all the time. And then we were gone for like 30 minutes. We're like, what's taking so long? And we get a text from our RA that it was an actual fire. So now we're like not able to stay in the dorm rooms, which is inconvenient. Having 8 a.m.s and having to be off campus is rough, but they were like really accommodative with us. I mean, it's hard because all of our clothes and all of our necessities are in our room. And last night we had like 5 minutes to get everything. So it's going to be an adjustment for a little while, but hopefully we'll get back in soon.
University President Mark Keenum visited Oak Hall Sunday evening to speak to the students about the fire. Keenum stood on a coffee table in the dorm lobby and addressed students saying, quote, "We are fully committed to helping those impacted by this fire in any way we can. The safety of our MSU family is a top priority, and I am grateful that nobody was hurt during this incident. I would like to thank the students, staff, and emergency officials involved for their efforts in minimizing the harm caused by this fire." Students said they have been temporarily moved into a hotel and will receive any academic accommodations they need. Students can also turn in receipts and be reimbursed for any services they needed following the fire, such as dry cleaning for water-damaged clothes. This is not the first fire that has happened in MSU's Oak Hall. Back in 2014, a fire was caused by a candle in a room also on the third floor. That incident displaced 198 residents. Mississippi State does not offer dorm insurance for students, but many insurance companies do. My colleague Amber Dodd is here with what you need to know about dorm insurance. Amber?
Thank you, Bailey. According to consumerreports.org, homeowners' policies typically cover students while they're living on college campuses. However, the coverage only covers 10% of contents. For those who are worried about that if it's not enough, a dorm insurance policy may be a better option. Deductibles are usually much lower than home insurance and policies. These policies typically cover not only laptops, cell phones, and speakers, but also things like bicycles, sports equipment, musical instruments, and cameras. Consumer Reporter recommends parents and students assess the risks of the level of maturity and responsibility students have when considering a dorm insurance policy.
A tour bus overturned in DeSoto County yesterday, leaving 2 people dead and 44 injured. The bus, operated by Teague VIP Express, departed from Huntsville, Alabama and overturned about 40 miles south of Memphis. According to 7KPLC News, the 2 victims have been identified as 70-year-old Betty Russell and 61-year-old Cynthia Harden of Huntsville. Authorities said firefighters had to climb through the bus roof to free passengers. All 44 survivors were taken to hospitals and 3 of them are in serious condition. A replacement bus was sent to pick up any passengers in good enough shape to go home. The DeSoto County Sheriff's Department said highways in the area are slick because of sleet.
Welcome to Take 30 News. I'm Amber Dodd.
And I'm Bailey Pulliam. Multiple media outlets have declared support for CNN in its legal fight against the White House this week, and the first hearing was yesterday. On November 7th, CNN correspondent Jim Acosta's access to the White House was reportedly suspended because he refused to give up a microphone to an intern after a dispute with President Trump during a press conference. According to CBS News, CNN filed a lawsuit asking the court for an immediate restraining order requiring the pass to be returned to Acosta and will seek permanent relief as part of the process. Fox News filed a friend of the court brief in support of CNN's lawsuit. Fox News anchors and shows are typically supportive of the Trump administration. However, President Jay Wallace said in a statement, quote, "While we don't condone the growing antagonistic tone by both the president and the press at recent media avails, we do support a free press, access, and open exchanges for the American people." Other news organizations, including CBS News, NBC News, the New York Times, the Associated Press, the Washington Post, and more, have said they would file an amicus brief in support of CNN. The judge said that he would have a ruling today.
We'll just get to those stories in a moment. We start tonight with the Mississippi runoff election results. The Senate race gained national attention after controversial comments were made by Republican candidate Cindy Hyde-Smith and after President Trump visited the state. Ultimately, Republican candidate Cindy Hyde-Smith received 55% of the votes in the runoff Tuesday, defeating Democrat Mike Espy, who received 45% of votes. Hyde-Smith will make history, becoming the first woman elected to Congress from Mississippi. Espy, too, would have made history. If elected, he would have been the first African American elected in the U.S. Senate in the state since Reconstruction. Cindy Hyde-Smith spoke to a crowd at her election party in Jackson after results came in. She told the crowd, "You've made a victory for me. I'm not going to let you down." End quote. "The reason we won is because Mississippians know me and they know my heart." Hyde-Smith, now part of the record number of women, 24, to serve in the Senate in the 116th session. Mike Espy also spoke to a crowd of supporters after calling Hyde-Smith and congratulating her. He told the crowd in Jackson he hopes Hyde-Smith goes back to Washington to, quote, "unite a very divided Mississippi." He also encouraged college students who want to run for office to follow their dreams. He ended the night on a hopeful note for supporters, saying, quote, "This is not a loss, it's a movement, and this movement is not going to end."